What's the difference between Taiwan and China? Hello there. Today we're going to explore something that often confuses people around the world, understanding the difference between Taiwan and China. This topic can be tricky because it involves history, politics, geography, and culture all mixed together. But don't worry, we'll break it down step by step so everything becomes crystal clear. Let's start with the basics. When most people think of China, they picture the massive country in East Asia with over 1.4 billion people. Officially called the People's Republic of China, it's one of the world's largest countries, both in terms of population and land area. You've probably heard of famous Chinese cities like Beijing, Shanghai, or Guangzhou. These places are definitely part of mainland China. Now, what about Taiwan? Many people think Taiwan is just another province of China, similar to how California is part of the United States. However, the reality is much more complex than that simple comparison suggests. Geographically speaking, Taiwan is an island located about 180 kilometers southeast of mainland China, across what's known as the Taiwan Strait. It's roughly the size of the Netherlands, or half the size of Kyushu in Japan. The island has beautiful mountains, tropical beaches, and bustling cities. Taipei is its capital and largest city, though many people also know it for its night markets, bubble tea, and technology industry. So far, so good, right? One is a huge continental country, and the other is a smaller island nearby. But here's where things get interesting and sometimes confusing. The political situation is where most of the complexity lies. Both Taiwan and China claim to be the legitimate government of all of China. This might sound strange at first, but it makes more sense when we look at the historical background. To understand this better, we need to take a quick trip back in time. In 1949, China went through a major upheaval. A civil war had been raging for years between two main groups, the nationalists led by Chiang Kai-shek and the communists led by Mao Zedong. When the communists won, they established the People's Republic of China on the mainland. Meanwhile, the nationalists retreated to Taiwan and continued claiming they were still the real government of all China. For many decades, this created what international relations experts call two Chinas problem. Both sides insisted they represented the entire country, even though they were separated by water and governed completely differently. It's like having two people, both claiming to be the rightful owner of the same house. Different countries have handled this situation in various ways over the years. Some recognize the People's Republic of China, mainland China, as the official representative, while others maintain unofficial ties with Taiwan. The United States, for example, officially recognizes Beijing, but still maintains strong economic and cultural relationships with Taiwan through what's called the Taiwan Relations Act. This brings us to an important point about terminology. When talking about this topic, people often use different names depending on their political views. Supporters of Taiwanese independence prefer calling Taiwan simply Taiwan, or sometimes the ROC, Republic of China. Those who believe Taiwan should eventually reunify with mainland China might refer to it as Taiwan Province. And mainland Chinese officials usually call it Taiwan Province of China. Language matters here because each term carries certain political implications. It's a bit like how calling someone by their first name versus their title can change the whole tone of a conversation. Culturally speaking, both places share many similarities since they both come from Chinese civilization. Traditional festivals like Lunar New Year, Mid-Autumn Festival, and Dragon Boat Festival are celebrated in both locations. People eat similar foods, practice traditional arts, and value family relationships deeply. However, there are also noticeable differences that have developed over the past several decades. Taiwan has evolved its own unique identity, especially in popular culture. Think of K-pop, South Korea's music phenomenon, but imagine if Korea had split into two separate countries with different entertainment industries. That's somewhat similar to what happened with Taiwan and mainland China. Taiwanese pop culture has flourished independently, creating its own movies, music, and television shows. The island has produced internationally acclaimed directors like Ang Lee, whose films have won multiple Academy Awards. Their entertainment industry has developed a distinctive style that blends traditional Chinese elements with modern global influences. In terms of daily life, both societies function quite differently too. Taiwan operates under a multi-party democratic system where citizens vote for their leaders regularly. They enjoy freedoms of speech and assembly that are protected by law. Mainland China, on the other hand, has a one-party socialist system with different priorities and governance approaches. Economically, both regions are powerhouses, but in different ways. Mainland China has become the world's second-largest economy through manufacturing and exports. Cities like Shenzhen and Shanghai have transformed into global financial centers almost overnight. Taiwan, meanwhile, has built incredible expertise in technology manufacturing, particularly semiconductors and electronics components that power devices worldwide. Interestingly, despite their political differences, economic ties between Taiwan and mainland China remain very strong. Many Taiwanese companies have factories in mainland China, taking advantage of lower labor costs while maintaining design and management operations back home. This creates what economists call economic interdependence, basically meaning they rely on each other for business, even when they disagree politically. International recognition adds another layer to this puzzle. Most countries officially recognize the People's Republic of China as representing all of China, including Taiwan. This means Taiwan cannot join the United Nations under its own name, and most nations don't maintain formal diplomatic relations with it. Instead, they handle Taiwan-related affairs through representative offices that aren't technically embassies. But here's where it gets really fascinating. Ordinary people around the world often don't distinguish much between the two when it comes to culture and daily interactions. Someone in Europe might enjoy Taiwanese bubble tea without thinking twice about politics. A student learning Chinese might study materials from both places without realizing the subtle differences in language usage. The Chinese language itself illustrates this point well. While both use Mandarin Chinese as their primary spoken language, there are variations in pronunciation, vocabulary, and even writing systems. Taiwan traditionally used traditional Chinese characters, while mainland China adopted simplified characters in the 1950s. It's like comparing American English spelling with British English, the same language but with small differences that native speakers can easily navigate. These linguistic differences extend beyond just writing. Taiwanese Mandarin includes some local expressions and pronunciations influenced by Hokkien, a dialect widely spoken on the island. Mainland Chinese Mandarin, meanwhile, has absorbed vocabulary related to modern developments and political concepts over recent decades. Sports provide another interesting angle. Both compete separately in international competitions like the Olympics. You might see athletes from Chinese Taipei, that's Taiwan's official Olympic name, competing against athletes from the People's Republic of China. It's one of those situations where political realities create unusual arrangements that seem strange until you understand the underlying tensions. Tourism offers yet another perspective. Millions of people visit both places every year, drawn by rich histories, delicious food, and natural beauty. Visitors to Taiwan might explore ancient temples in Taipei or relax in hot springs outside Taichung. Those heading to mainland China could walk along the Great Wall or cruise through stunning landscapes like those in Guilin. Each destination offers unique experiences shaped by their distinct recent histories. Environmental concerns also play differently in each location. Taiwan has made significant investments in renewable energy and sustainable practices, partly driven by its limited natural resources and desire for energy independence. Mainland China faces enormous environmental challenges due to rapid industrialization, but has also begun implementing ambitious green policies in recent years. Looking toward the future, this relationship continues evolving. Younger generations on both sides often communicate through social media and share cultural interests despite political barriers. Technology makes it easier than ever for people to connect personally, even when governments maintain formal distance. The situation reminds me of siblings who had a big argument years ago and now live in separate houses, but still share family traditions and care about each other's well-being. There's tension and disagreement, but also deep underlying connections that can't be ignored. Understanding all these nuances helps explain why this topic generates such passionate discussions worldwide. People often feel strongly because they see different aspects, emphasized some focus on shared culture and history, others on current political realities, and still others on practical considerations like trade and travel. It's worth noting that most residents of both places just want to live peaceful, prosperous lives. Whether someone lives in Taipei or Tianjin, they're probably more concerned with daily work, family, and personal goals than high-level political debates. Yet these macro issues inevitably affect everyone's lives in ways both obvious and subtle. For students learning English or studying international relations, this serves as a perfect example of how complex global politics can be. Simple answers rarely exist when dealing with historical grievances, cultural identities, and competing national narratives all intertwined. The key takeaway is recognizing that Taiwan and China represent separate governing entities with different systems, even though they share profound cultural connections. Whether this situation will change dramatically in coming decades remains anyone's guess, but understanding the current state helps us appreciate the richness and complexity of our interconnected world. That's all for today. I hope you found this article helpful. Join me next time as we continue. Until then, take care and have a great day.